Hello. So today I want to touch on protein. Whey protein, casein protein, and yeah, just the basics of protein. And I'm going to read over an article that I got linked as well. But first and foremost, I want to talk about just protein in general. So protein is really essential for pretty much everything. Like your DNA is made out of protein, your hair, your nails, your skin. Protein just, it's good for beauty, it's good for strength, it's good for muscles, muscle repair, and reducing protein breakdown. So you have milk protein. 20% of this milk protein is whey. 80% is casein. Casein is slower digesting. Whey is faster digesting. There's whey concentrate, whey isolate, and then there's the casein. And then you have your hydrolysate, which is just ridiculously expensive and you don't need it. Unless you're lactose intolerant, then a lot of people that are lactose intolerant can actually benefit from the hydrolysate. My dog just farted. Hydrolysate and isolate, just because it removes the fat, the carbs, and it refines it down so it's easy to digest and it's more comfortable for your digestive tract. Okay, so what do I want to start with? Okay, so what I want to first start off with is whey in itself. So we have whey concentrate, and that's the least processed form of whey there is. It's the cheapest, and if you have no issues with lactose or digestion, then you're great going off with concentrate. I love concentrate for the fact that it's thick and it fills you up more than isolate. If you have concentrate versus isolate is unless you get one that has a lot of sweeteners and pretty stuff, then it's just bland and it doesn't taste really nice, and you need to really mix it in with stuff to make it taste good, because it isn't good on its own, so it needs to be in a shake. But concentrate, you can add it to yogurt, you can add it to everything, and it tastes amazing. So isolate, you get the whey, you filter out most of the stuff like carbs, fats, all of that, and you have the isolate. It's easily digestible, and if you're lactose intolerant, you can pretty much tolerate most isolates. And then the hydrolyzed, it's pre-digested, so it's the purest, it's the fastest to absorb, so it's fine for those that are lactose intolerant, but it is very expensive. Now, which one is best for you? None of them are completely ideal for anybody, in my opinion. What I recommend is actually having a blend, because the blend, it's a staggered release. So you have the fast release and then all the others. And it tastes really good too, because it's thicker than just having a plain isolate. And it's not going to be a full concentrate. So it's not going to be really hard to digest and sticky in your digestive tract. So I would go with the concentrate just because it's cheaper. And if you don't have digestive issues, why not just go with that? Otherwise, I would go with the blend. Now, casein. Casein actually keeps you much fuller. It's a slow digesting protein, and it is more of a constant release, but it's often referred to as one that just prevents muscle breakdown, because it's that slow release. And a lot of people say have it before bed because it's that anti-catabolic type of protein. Okay, I think I covered everything in terms of casein versus whey. So I really want to touch on this article that someone sent me, which I keep looking at because it kind of makes my blood boil a lot. So it says, what are the side effects of protein supplements? Now, the first one can be true. Upset digestive system. I'm not going to completely blast this whole article. I'm going to discuss each point so that you can take away what you want to take away from it, and anything else you can just comment below and I'll get to. I'm just going to put my phone next to my laptop so I can read. Okay, so the first point is upset digestive system. Now, a lot of people are lactose intolerant, So, I shouldn't say a lot of people. There are a few people. Well, actually, there are a lot of people that are lactose intolerant. And that's mainly because the lactase enzyme, like, you have your DNA kind of thing, and there's the promoter region. And if you don't have a lot of lactose coming in, it turns off the promoter region on the DNA so that it does not transcribe lactase, which is what breaks down the lactose. So if you aren't constantly having lactose in your diet, then you aren't triggering the series of events that leads to the production of lactase, which is why you will become lactose intolerant. Like, it's an on and off switch. And lactose is there's two things I remember, but I can't remember the other one. I have to go through my university lecture notes to recall it. But I do know that lactose is one. So you turn on and off that gene that does all that transcribing for the... I already said that. Yeah, so a lot of people that go through comp prep, their coaches idiotically, buffoon, stupid, cut out lactose because they say it makes you fat or makes you put on cellulite or whatever the fuckery it is. But because of that, a lot of people that come out the back end of comp prep are lactose intolerant. It shits me. But it is what it is. And that is the only way that you will actually get an upset digestive system from having whey. But, as I've said before, there is quite a few different ways you can manage this. One, you can have a non-dairy whey protein. There are ones that are like pea blend, vegan blend, that type of stuff. Or you could get the complete hydrolysate proteins, which is pre-digested and like it's just easily absorbed. There's like no lactose in it pretty much. I know there is one there's the amino charged WPI by International Protein if you're in Australia. And they actually have on it that it's good for people that are lactose intolerant because it doesn't have lactose in it. It's gluten-free. It's like all these things that are free. And it's readily absorbed. So there's that. There's the hydrolysate proteins. I'm not going to support or back the ones that are like amino lean and the ones that are pretty much like cordial, that are pretty much just EAAs and BCAAs and a blend of all of that shit, because I don't know the efficacy of it. But I can back the hydrolysate proteins and the isolates that are okay if you're lactose intolerant. But that's the only way that point one reigns true. Okay, so now the point number 2 causes unhealthy weight gain. How the fuck does having protein powder cause unhealthy weight gain? Like, there are people that think that whey protein immediately pops muscles onto your body. And then there are people that think it just causes weight gain like that. Like, it doesn't work like that. It says when your workout regimen does not match up to your protein intake, the unutilized calories get converted to fat. Well, duh, no shit, Sherlock. Anything that is unused gets turned to fat. But protein is a very, very costly thing. Like, if you know the thermic effect of food, the thermic effect of protein is much higher than carbs and fats. So, saying that, it's like, it's a better choice than overloading on fats. Because fat just gets stored as fat. And as Broderick Chavez says, it just gets stored on your fat ass. Literally, that's what he says. But that's fats. And then carbs, it's easier to convert to fat than protein. Like, and when you don't use your protein, it, like, nitric waste, because protein has the nitric, yeah. Anyway, so the only way that it can cause unhealthy weight gain is if you are in a calorie surplus, and it is not directly from the protein powder itself. It is just from being in a calorie surplus. Protein powder is just a way of hitting your protein intake, and like the protein intake that you should be having is 1 to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. This one just likes biting me. 1 to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. That is the protein intake that you should be having. Except I usually say actually, I shouldn't even say 1 to 3. Like, I always say try and get 1.8 to 3 grams per kilogram of body weight of protein. Like, I myself, how much do I weigh? Yeah, I do. I have pretty much 2.5 grams per kilogram of body weight myself. So it really depends on what you can adhere to, but I wouldn't personally go below 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. And if you're really active and if you do like a lot of weight training and stuff, I would really push to the 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. And unless you're like obese or you're holding extra body fat, then I would go with 2 grams or 1.8 gram, because then you're just calculating that on a lot of your fat mass versus your muscle mass. But yeah, that's the only way that 0.2 can hold true if you're in a calorie surplus, and it's not from the protein powder itself. So I would just say it's completely false. Not even that's the only way it holds true. Just false, false, false. Okay, number 3. I really don't understand how they could come to number 3. It just says it can lower blood pressure way too much. You're just having protein powder. I don't see how that's going to lower blood pressure. It's just like eating, like, what's the difference between having a protein shake and eating chicken? Does chicken lower your blood pressure? No. Unless it's just like, actually, I don't even know how they could say that. Okay, the next one, it says number 4 and number 6 are kind of on the same border. So I'm going to lead to both, like I'm going to talk about both of them at once. So the number 4 is might affect kidneys, and number 6 is may cause liver damage. Now, unless you have a previous or a current renal issue, unless you have like a current kidney issue or like chronic kidney disease or something like that, then protein powder isn't going to affect you. And for most people, it doesn't do too much anyway, because it's the creatinine that does do that. But like, unless you have a diagnosed issue by your doctor, I would not say take, like, if you have the issue, I wouldn't tell you to take protein powder without consulting with a specialist first. A specialist, not a gimp, clown nutrition, like what they call naturopaths. Don't go see a naturopath. Go see an actual freaking specialist. If you have an issue, ask them about it and then do what they say. Otherwise, no, it doesn't affect your kidneys, and no, it doesn't cause liver damage, which is the other thing it says. Wait, what the fuck? Having a diet of protein supplements with no carbs can push the body into a state of ketosis, wherein the body utilizes fat as a primary source of energy. This leads to high blood acidity levels. What the fuck? Okay, for starters, ketosis. Real keto diets are high in fat, low in moderate protein, and no carbs. Not high in protein. And you want to keep your protein low if you want to reach ketosis. And blood acidity from no, it doesn't. So you don't need to worry about that. And it says taking excess whey protein without exercising can lead to liver inflammation. No. If you take it without exercising and you're not utilizing it, it just gets stored into fat, remember? That's what happens when you have excess calories, because anything from either of the macro groups, protein, carbs, or fats, gets turned into fat if it is in excess of your calories. Anyway, that's done. Number 5, can disrupt hormones. Wait, this is mainly talking about soy-based protein supplements. But I remember reading an article saying that soy should not be something you fear. Although I would say that you should be careful of your soy intake and not overdo it. But I'm not going to put my name on that because I have not read too far into it. Because like anything, I believe in a balanced diet and not getting all of your protein intake from soy. Or if you're a vegan, not getting everything from soy. That is my way of seeing things. So I don't really look into vacuums because other things, he's eating my fingers. Other things exist in the realm. So, yeah. Okay. No idea why it's saying it can lead to heavy metal poisoning, because I don't know why you would have metals in whey protein. I would make sure that the protein you're getting is quality tested so that it does not come with things that... Okay, so drug interactions. It's fucking protein powder. It's not creatine. It's not pre-workout. It's not whatever the fuck it is. It's protein. No drug interactions. Especially if you get something that's pure. But if you're getting one of those stupid blends like women's protein, and like I know someone, I was talking to someone about their fear of protein powder, and that's because they bought freaking women's protein, which was promoted as just some amazing protein, but it was honestly like a fat burning protein. If you look at the ingredients, it's pretty much a pre-workout protein powder. Like, it had stuff like carnitine, guarana extract, like caffeine. It had stuff that you would see in a pre-workout. So if you get something that stupid thinking that protein's going to burn fat, which it's not, like your protein powder is not going to burn fat, and getting a fat burner pre-workout is not going to make you burn fat either, because even a fat burner doesn't burn fat. Unless you're like extremely lean, it might add 1% to it, but it's a calorie deficit that does it, and it's the placebo and mindset of, okay, I'm taking a fat burner, now I need to actually start eating healthy and exercising, that starts burning fat. Or I guess in a way as well, which is why I love pre-workouts, is that if you put more effort and intensity into your training, then you will be burning more calories and thus burning more fat. So I love pre-workouts, and if I take a fat burner, it's going to be for the sake that it's giving me a shitload of energy and I'm going to smash my training session. And that's the only way that it's going to lead to fat burning. Not because it's directly burning fat, no. But anyway, back to my point. Don't be an idiot and spend extra money buying a fat burning protein powder because you think that having this protein powder is going to make you burn fat. And that's the only way that there would be drug interactions. Not the protein itself. Okay, may increase cancer risk. Freaking hell, like drinking water increases cancer risk. Honestly, anything else you want to say? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And it's saying that it's due to the heavy metals. So like I said, make sure it's quality protein. Don't spend extra shitty money on women's protein and fat burning proteins because there's no difference. It's just protein powder. Anyway, and you know what? Actually, most of the time, women's protein and fat burning proteins contain like the concentrate and the casein in it, and sometimes egg albumin, which is the one that makes protein powder really nice and you can cook with it and stuff, like the Quest protein, because egg albumin kind of does the binding magic. But that's the reason why it's just like, what the fuck? Because if you want to have the purest form of protein as like a women's protein, to have something clean and whatever the lean hell you want to talk about in toning proteins, then get a freaking isolate. That's the one that has no carbs or fats filtered into it. It's just the purest form of protein. That's the best women's protein. Anyway, yes. Can cause dehydration. Well, drink more freaking water. Don't really see how protein can make you dehydrated. But if you do have creatine, you can get stomach cramps if you don't drink enough water, because creatine drags water into your muscle cells. So that would be one thing. Okay, the next one can cause acne. Whey protein is known to increase the production of a hormone called IGF-1 or insulin. No. Well, it increases muscle protein synthesis, but just like exercise doesn't increase like growth hormone or testosterone to a significant degree, protein powder doesn't do that either. But it can cause acne if you're intolerant to dairy and you're having like concentrate and stuff. Like, there are people that get acne from having dairy because they're intolerant to dairy. Just don't get one that has a lot of lactose in it. Can lead to hair loss. No. Nope. Even creatine, unless it's like genetic, unless it's genetic, then no, you don't have an issue with that. Okay, this is the thing that really kind of ruffled my feathers. The average person can take 0.8 to 1.3 grams of protein for every kilo of body weight, which means that if you weigh 65 kilos, your ideal protein intake can be anywhere between 52 and 84 grams per day. My right ass cheek has 84 grams per day. My finger has 52 grams per day. That's ridiculous. No wonder people protein is the highest satiating thing there is. Protein, keratin in your hair, your nails, your skin. Like, it repairs things. It is, like, I can't stress the importance of protein enough. And there are so many people that aren't having enough protein in their diets. They're, like, loading it with fast food and fats and carbs and stuff, and then blaming excess protein for their weight gain when it's because they go to KFC every freaking day. Like, 52 grams to 84 grams. Like, that's half of what you should be having. Like, yeah, I already told you. I would say 1.8 grams to 2.5 grams of protein per day per kilogram of body weight. So, I hope that helps. And, I found this one really funny. How can you remove excess protein from the body? Hydration is key. Water can help flush out the excess protein from your system. So if you're already taking whey protein supplements, ensure you include more of the low protein foods into your diet. That way you can avoid an excess of protein. 1, drinking more water doesn't just flush freaking protein out of your body. That's just like saying drinking water flushes out, I don't know, all the extra calories you're taking in, when it doesn't, because your body's still processing them. Anyway, I think I covered everything. And if weight loss is your goal, then I don't see how including more of the low protein foods in your diet is going to do that, because that's like having, are they trying to say have more chocolate? Anyway, I hope that answers any questions and informs you a little on protein. If you have any other questions, leave them below or message me, and I will see you on the bright side.